Welcome to Thursday. It's July 8th, 2021. Welcome to the Day Weather Podcast, and thanks for tuning in, either watching or listening today. This is what we're going to talk about. Hot and breezy weather is coming today and Friday. This is going to lead to increasing fire danger, especially in Wyoming and portions of central and western Colorado, where we still have some very, very dry areas. We've got that bad combination of low humidity, hot temperatures, and wind coming up. Also, I'm concerned about dry thunderstorms, the type of thunderstorms that produce lightning and wind and not much rain. That's going to be a concern here over the next 48 hours. But a cool front arrives late Friday into Saturday, bringing thunderstorms, some, and east of the divide, some cooler temperatures and higher relative humidity. So a little bit of relief there, but we go right back to warm and dry conditions again Sunday into early next week. But we are expecting a better flow of moisture by mid to late next week. So sometime mid to late next week, we'll get into thunderstorm activity again. Nothing widespread, but thunderstorms pick up. And then after, this is supposed to say July 20th, not June 20th, but after July 20th, we're going to see that deeper monsoon moisture flow come in. We're still seeing that on the charts. Also, we're going to give you a global temperature anomaly update. Just got the latest satellite data. Some interesting things to point out with that. So let's take a look at where we are today. We've got a big area of high pressure right over the Four Corners area, so the desert air is coming into the high plains and Rockies for some hot weather conditions. Here's the cool front. Yep, cooling off in the Pacific Northwest. Good for them, but this cool front comes up, down, and over the ridge. But as it does so, it's going to bring increasing wind, and that's why we're concerned about today, but especially Friday, with the windy conditions as the cool front right here comes over on top, and this is by overnight Friday and the Saturday morning, and you can see this little dimple here in the flow causing the high pressure ridge to retrograde a little bit to the west, allowing northwest winds to come in and cooler air to spill in west of the divide. But you see how these lines are spaced together closely? That causes a change in air pressure over a short distance, and you put that through the terrain, you put that through the mountain gaps, and that's what makes the wind blow. And here are the wind gusts expected between today and Friday. And again, the highest winds will be Friday, but look at the I-80 corridor of Wyoming and up into South Pass, and you can see in the northeast Utah, and you can see some gusty winds here in western areas of Colorado as well, and eastern Montana. So we're going to have some high winds in this area here, and there's some very, very dry areas there. So let's hope we don't have any fires that get started, because they would take off really quickly. And take a look at relative humidities for tomorrow afternoon. You've got single-digit relative humidities in the same areas where those high winds are going to be. So recipe for some big problems if fires get started over the next 48 hours. But conditions do improve, and behind the front and along the front, there will be showers and thunderstorms developing. Most of this activity is Friday and Saturday, and you can see it favors areas east of the divide, although there is some subtropical moisture here that will produce showers and thunderstorms over Arizona, New Mexico, even the Sierra Nevada of California, and that is good news there. Let's just hope we don't get any fires started because of lightning. The deeper moisture is going to be out towards the Dakotas and Nebraska. That's where the best precipitation chances will be. But there will be some thunderstorms. We're hoping that northeastern Wyoming and western South Dakota right here that's really dry is probably one of the more favored areas for thunderstorms over the next 48 hours. As we go further out, this is that July 20th time frame. This is why we think around July 20th, give or plus or minus a couple of days, we start to see high pressure more centered over the plains, the central plains, and that clockwise flow going to bring that deeper subtropical moisture into the area, and we're seeing that. Actually, the models are showing some tropical storm or hurricane activity off the west coast of Mexico. So there's going to be more moisture available, and here it is. This is showing up very well. Yesterday, we talked about the ring of fire, that ring of thunderstorms that develops in the monsoon flow. And that's exactly what the screen is showing here. This is where you tend to get an active thunderstorm pattern that rotates around that high pressure system during late July into early August. And where you see the blue here, that's just a lot of more water available. So this is encouraging. Look at California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona here, western slope of Colorado. So around or after that July 20th time frame, keep your fingers crossed that this pattern holds. Now, I wanted to show you the latest satellite update for the lower atmosphere. This is a satellite that's been running since 1979. We don't have any temperature data before 1979 with the satellite imagery, but we've shown you this graph a couple of times, and the anomaly for June globally is just barely below the average, the 30-year average, 1/100 of a degree below average Celsius for June 2020 globally. And this follows up 3 months in a row here of either being at the 30-year average globally or slightly below. And why is that important? Well, all you have to do is look at the graph and show where we've had these really warm periods in the last 30 years, but also to show you that, yes, the global temperatures go through these cycles. They fluctuate from warmer and colder. Right now, globally, temperatures are quite a bit cooler than they were just a year ago. And if you were to look at a map, well, where are those colder temperatures are? This shows you the islands of cold and the islands of heat in June. No surprise here, the western areas of the United States, the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies, a hot spot also into Europe, where you really see the global temperatures below average is in the southern hemisphere. And remember, that's their winter season. So the southern hemisphere experiencing a really cold winter so far. When you look at the temperatures, I want you to look at the bottom line here. These are the anomalies. The lower 48 states had 1.44 degrees Celsius above average in June. That is really warm. But if you were to look at the rest of the globe, especially Australia, if you look at the southern hemisphere, and if you look at the tropics, actually cooler than average. It was the Arctic and the lower 48 states and most of the northern hemisphere that was warmer. So if you add both hemispheres together, the global anomaly is right here. And right here I can show you as we got on into January through June here, you can see the anomalies are just barely above or slightly below the 30-year global temperature average. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel of Day Weather. Have yourself a great Thursday. See you tomorrow.